Okay, welcome back everybody. Gorbash Yeti here, bringing you another session of Dark Souls PvP. This one's called Embracing Fear of the Unknown. So let me start saying, yeah, understand, this is a video game. Got it. It's only a video game. But what I'm talking about is there are, especially with today, there are certain games that can make you feel creepy or keep you on the edge of your seat. And there's several different factors that are involved in this. The graphics of today's games are really good that can fully pull you into the video game world and immerse you in the video game world. And the whole point people play video games is to escape their reality, right? Either, they've had a crappy day at work, or, the significant other is giving them issues, or they just want to chill and relax and not have to deal with whatever it is they have to deal with. So playing games is a good outlet to kind of get out of reality for a little while. So you would expect people to fully get involved and immersed in their video game world, and a lot of people take it to the extreme with games like World of Warcraft and things like that. But what I'm talking about is games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, games that can keep you enthralled, games that can, for lack of better, can scare you, right? There are some games out there that can downright scare you. So especially if you sit there and you play in the dark and you got your headphones on and you can hear every little sound, you can hear every little thing. Some games like Metro Last Light does that really well. They have these spiders that creep up on you, and you can hear them coming, but you can't see them. And so you're turning around 360 degrees, and by the time you see them, they jump on you, and it gives you that little fear factor. Oh, there it was. So the Souls series, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, do it on a number of levels. They have some levels that are particularly dark, so you don't know what's creeping up on you. Some places like Tomb of the Giants, things like that, where you have to have a light to be able to see, and if you don't, if you don't know the route, you're gonna you're gonna see an enemy that's not there. They place enemies around corners. They place enemies in traps that once you spring the trap, it kind of can get a little bit difficult. So another way they do it is particularly with your souls, and in Dark Souls 2, the humanity, where the bloodstains, right? You die, you lose all your stuff, you have to go back and get it before you die again, which makes you play a little bit more cautiously when you're going back the second time to get your stuff, and keeps you a little bit on the edge of your seat, because if you die again, you lose everything, right? So it gives you that little added, ooh, I got to get this done. I got to get there. I got to get it. I don't want to lose everything. I've just done an hour's worth of work, and I don't want to lose it all. So that's an added extra level of fear, if you will, that the game gives you, right? Also, another added level is if you walk around in human form, you don't know if you're going to get invaded or not. You walk around in human form and that area boss hasn't been defeated, you could be invaded, right? And then this is where embracing the fear of the unknown. This is where the fear of the unknown comes in, right? Because anytime you get invaded, you have no idea what the other person invading you is going to bring with them, right? You don't know if it's going to be a Dex character, swinging a falchion very fast. You don't know if it's going to be a spear user, turtling behind a shield. You don't know if it's going to be a guy rocking full Havel's gear. And some of that could be mitigated by your soul level, right? If you're running around at soul level 20, but now with save editors and all this other stuff, you still don't know. The guy could come in, because I'm working on another series where you become a soul level 1 Dark Wraith, but you could still come in with a plus 15 weapon, or it could come in with an elemental weapon. There are some, you can get a fire weapon and stay at soul level 1, because it's not that difficult. All you got to do is go get the stuff and get the gear, and then you have higher level gear and you're still low level. So you can be invaded at any lower level, and you don't know what your opponent's going to bring with them, right? You don't know are they going to use a bow? Are they going to use magic? Are they going to use pyromancy? You don't know, right? So that's part of the unknown. And I think the ultimate part of it, the ultimate fear of the unknown, becomes when you are invading. Specifically, when you invade, you have no idea if you're coming in. Well, there's other, I'm getting off track here. So a little bit more added is if you do red soapstone invasions, right? You get summoned into someone else's world as an invader, but those can be scripted, right? Those can be not as much of the unknown associated with those kind of invasions, right? Because you know pretty much it's going to be a one-on-one situation. And sometimes you can even set rules in advance to where you're either dueling with your buddies or you're dueling in a fight club. So you kind of know what the restrictions are and what kind of weapons your opponents might have. You still have some of the unknown with, you don't know if they're going to pull out the Wrath of the Gods. You don't know if they're going to pull out their pyromancy, things like that. But that one doesn't associate with as much as the random invasion. The random invasion is the top level of adding the unknown effect to it, right? Because once you get down to it, once you've played through the game 2, 3, 4 times, there's nothing left that will keep you on the edge of your seat, right? You go through the game, you know where every enemy's location is, you know where what every enemy's move set is, pretty much. You know what the boss's move sets are, and you know how to get through the game effectively, right? You can take numerous different routes to get through the game. You know what gear you want to obtain, what the gear does. So after you've played through 2, 3, 4 times, you've kind of lost that unknown, and no longer, and you get more aggressive with the game when you're playing PvE, right? So the only way to keep you on the edge of your seat again is through PvP, right? And specifically through random invasions, where you invade someone's world, and such as in this video right now, you don't know what you're coming up against. And in this video, I've come up against 2 players. Not only 2 players, but a player that's going to be using dark magic, which is, I have nothing to counteract that, right? Yeah, sure, I've pulled out a bow, but as you can see, I'm not even hitting him very well. And he's just going to splam me in the face with with a crystal soul spear. That's great. So, yeah. So I came into the world with 2 players, and it happens all the time when you invade. You don't know if you're coming up against 1 player. You don't know if you're coming up against 2 players. You don't know if you're coming up against 3 players, right? You don't know if you're coming up against 2 players with another red phantom in there that's on their side or on your side, right? Because that's happened. I've invaded a world where they've got another red guy in there, and he backstabs me immediately and then doesn't attack the host at all, right? So that's happened. And so, and the last thing is, unless you've invaded the guy several times, you have no judge on his ability or his skill level whatsoever, right? He could be a good player, just that PvPs all day, every day, right? He could be a mediocre player that's just trying to get through the game for the 3rd, 4th, second time, and is just playing PvE, and he's running around in human form because when he gets to the boss, he wants to summon someone for help. Or he could be a first-time player that's not even that's run around in human form for who knows what reason, right? Because his buddies said it was cool, and he has no idea how to play the game, right? Or it could be a mediocre player that has really good gear because the gear helps them, right? Because not everybody works on their skill. Some people just rely on the 2 people to come help them out. They figure if they stand there with 2 people, they can always win when they get only 1 invader, right? So, or they go get really high level gear, so they don't have to use as much skill. They don't have to do as much. They can do more damage. They can get better armor. They can get heavier armor, and so you might run into that. So the fear of the unknown. There's so many different unknown variables when you invade people, and that's what keeps you on the edge of the seat. That's what keeps you on the edge of the seat. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get the win. You don't know if you're even going to get a good fight. You don't know if the guy is going to go challenge the boss and leave you standing there with, hey, Master's challenge the boss, you're being forced back to your world. You don't know if the guy is going to come at you with 2 of his buddies. You don't know if they're just trying to co-op and they're going to go challenge the boss. You don't even know if the guy is going to stand there and let you hit him once or twice and then quit out of the game, which happens too. So that's the fear of the unknown we're talking about, just dealing with the unknown variables, and how I think that the PvP, the ultimate PvP experience to keep you on the edge of your seat, to keep you guessing, keep your skills fresh, is to conduct the random invasion. And keep your, in these videos, I'm relatively low level. I think I'm level 50. I'm not rocking anything heavy. My Gravelord sword is +5. I've got Ornstein's chest plate on, and I've got the iron pants on, I think. I don't remember what gauntlets, but I don't wear a helmet. I don't like wearing helmets. I think that most of the helmets are too ugly and they don't really offer anything Only rocking like 40 poise, nothing special. So in these videos, you've seen a little bit of it all. You've seen me run up against one guy, you've seen me run up against two guys, three, four. Again, see, this guy can have a perfect problem, right? Because so I'm standing here right next to Laurentius, and if he attacks me, and he knows it, see, he knows it. And this is how I can judge his skill level right here. He knows that if he attacks me, he is going to jack himself out of being able to get any pyromancies from this guy, because he's going to aggro Laurentius. So not only is he going to have two people on him, but for the rest of his playthrough, he's either going to have to kill Laurentius or not come back to this area because he's going to be aggroed permanently. So he knew that's what I was trying to do, and he didn't fall for it, which good on him. So yeah, so that's the fear of the unknown I'm talking about, just dealing with all these different variables and keeping yourself on the edge of the seat. And the random invasion is the best way I've found to keep myself on the edge of my seat, and it keeps me guessing, keeps me fresh, keeps the skills going, and doesn't get you too complacent in your abilities. And it's constantly changing. Things are constantly changing. You can go to any different area you want to, the PvP areas. You can find yourself in many different environments. You can find yourself in confined spaces. And is your build specifically designed to take confined spaces, or do you need a lot of open spaces? You know, you can find yourself in open spaces, the exact opposite, where your build, and that's part of that is on you. I mean, you have the ability to go to whatever area you want to, but the other unknown factor is you don't know where the host is in the world. You don't know, and there are hints that you can use along the way. You can use the dead body trails, and you can use the as you see right here, you can use the broken barrels to see where your opponent has been. But sometimes they go kill the enemies and come back to the bonfire, right? Sometimes they go kill enemies and then wait for invaders at a certain location because they know when the invader's coming. So so a lot of it is just not knowing what's going to happen. And you can travel several different areas. You can use several different builds. You can even, if you want further, you can even put on the 2 rings that will summon you at any given time, which kind of, if you're trying to progress through the game and then all of a sudden you get summoned and you die, then you know wherever you got summoned in your game is where your stain is going to be, and you got to make it back to that point to collect your stain. Especially if you are, you know, if you're not paying attention like I don't sometimes, and you are walking around with 150,000 souls and 80 humanity like I do, because you either haven't spent them or you don't want to spend them because all you're really doing is buying consumables because you don't want to level up because you still like getting the invasions every 5 minutes or whatever. Then that can add a lot of stress to you when you're trying to get back to your bloodstain. So I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. I hope you like it. Go ahead and give it a like, give it, subscribe. I'm going to let the rest of the videos go ahead and play out, and there's only about 6 minutes left. You can watch the rest of the invasions if you want. You've heard my commentary, and I'd like to hear what people like. What I usually do is talk about what's going on in the game and talk about the different things that are going on and the tactics that I'm using. But I've done that 3, 4, 5 videos now, so that's really not, it kind of gets boring. It kind of gets taxing to do, and it's really, the whole reason to bring these YouTube videos is so people can watch gameplay, but also to be entertaining, right? You don't want to sit here and listen to somebody drone on for hours on end about some bullcrap that you've heard 100 times before. So I can talk about different subjects, or I can just leave the commentary and commentate on what's happening. So if you want to let me know what you prefer, what you like, leave a comment. As always, any suggestions, good suggestions, bad suggestions, either way, are always welcome. Excuse me. So, yeah, go ahead and enjoy the rest of the video, the next 7 minutes, and this is Gorbash Yeti, and the war for today is over.